So by now we've all heard about Apple Log on the iPhone 15 Pro or Pro Max, and it is really, really good. Much better than anyone I think expected, including myself. And so now a lot of people are using the phone in much more professional environments, and that includes Apple. If you didn't catch the recent Apple event, we found out after it showed that it was all shot on the iPhone 15 Pro and Pro Max. And while Apple has done short films and such in the past, to my knowledge, they've never actually shot their event on their own phone. And that really did take a lot of people by surprise. But it really goes to show how good Apple Log is, along with their sensor and their phone in general. They shot in very low light, and the phone performed very well. Now, of course, some people are saying, oh yeah, the phone performed well with all that expensive lighting gear, grip gear, etc. around them and a big Hollywood crew. For those that think that, you're missing the point entirely. The point is you can interchange the camera. You would use all that kind of gear and lighting no matter what camera you're using. They used an iPhone and no one noticed because the quality and, again, Apple Log is that good. So what does it all mean for indie filmmakers or people using their phone to produce YouTube videos, etc.? Quite a bit, actually. I was just scrolling Twitter this morning, or X, whatever it's called now, and I came across an article from Andrew Reed, the EOSHD guy, and he had an interesting take that I've actually thought for quite a while, and also have heard some insiders say this is the case, and that is with the new phones, and in particular Apple Log, that Apple appears to be positioning itself to take some of the mirrorless camera market, and I completely agree. Just like they did with the point and shoot market, the camcorder market, those really don't exist anymore for most people, consumers in particular, because you can just shoot with your iPhone, and most people do. And so I think they want to do the same thing with the mirrorless camera market. And in the beginning, it will be the lower end ones, the 1-inch sensor, even maybe the APS-C sensors, not the full frame, of course. But who knows, in the future, those could be impacted too, especially if they can get the depth of field mapping, the fake bokeh, to really work well with ProRes or Apple Log, then that will really put pressure on those other camera makers. But we're not there yet. I'm getting ahead of myself. The main thing right now is the ability to shoot Apple Log on your phone. And again, in a professional job like an Apple event or whatever, just means that you can now do it yourself on your own projects, whatever that is. And at a bare minimum, you can use the iPhone as a B camera up against pretty much any camera. One thing I wanted to point out in the Apple event video is they used gear that me and you have probably used, and that is the Blackmagic camera app and the Beastcage. Now, one interesting side note, I'd heard some speculation that people thought Beastcage got them the 15 Pro Max cage early because it's not ready yet. However, after some close inspection of the behind the scenes video they released, they were using the 14 Pro Max cage. And I can confirm that the 14 Pro Max cage, which is what I have right here, does work with the iPhone 15, which is great. Now, it only works as a cage because one thing that hasn't been talked about a lot recently is that the cameras have changed on the phone. The bottom lens here that used to be the ultra wide is now the 5x tele. And so using cages and such, that will no longer work for mounting lenses. That's why they're having to update the cage. The phone itself fits fine, and I've actually been using it. I didn't know that at first, by the way. I've actually been using it, and one thing cool is that you can use their mount here that allows you to connect filters. And so I now have an easy way to use filters with my 15 Pro Max, and I hadn't had that until now. Now, I've used the iPhone as a B camera forever. I mean, for 10 years. And so even when the quality wasn't as good, I was able to get really good results out of it up against Red cameras, Blackmagic cameras, you name it. In particular for B-roll, just quick insert shots. Man, you could never really tell the difference, especially if it was wide. Now, you go in tighter, you see the different shallow depth of field issues. However, now there's really not a limitation in that respect. You can use it as a B camera anytime. And as a matter of fact, recently I made a feature film that I've talked about on this channel. And in that feature, we shot on a Red Komodo. However, I did some insert shots on my iPhone. Now for those, I used Filmic Pro ProRes Log, and it matched in great. And that's still a good option for those of you that don't have a 15 Pro. Now Apple Log is considerably better. And now Filmic Pro also supports Apple Log along with Blackmagic. So you can now at least use a third-party app with manual control, because while the native camera app shoots Apple Log, you don't have the manual control, and that's super important when you're doing professional work in particular. But now, again, that we have Apple Log, this weekend, we're going to do some final pickup shots for the movie got to shoot some skateboarding shots, and I'm going to use my iPhone 15 Pro Max to do that. I've said it many times before, but it really means even more now, and it'll probably mean even more next year. There are no excuses. If you've got an iPhone 15 Pro or even an older iPhone, you can get great results. And so get out there and shoot whatever you want to shoot, a short film, a feature film, whatever it is. There are no excuses. Again, don't wait to create. Thanks for watching. This is Blake Calhoun. Please like, subscribe, and I'll see you in the next video.